Welcome back to our February edition. Yes, we have titled this Who Will Be King and Queen? Generally, because we do hold masculine and feminine energy, we are going to be looking at this on an overview. I definitely do see some significant changes happening with divine masculine here in the mix this week. Now, this can transition through, into the following week. Again, energy is fluid. But again, I do see this shift almost like this person is really perplexed with their, ideal of what they want versus what they currently have and how to actually bring that full circle. This could be in layman's terms of a context of a physical individual or a circumstance that is playing out in their life that they believe spiritually is kind of blocking their path moving forward. But they're really in this battle of the mind at the moment. And there is a bit of blurred vision, and I'm taking these as quite metaphorical significances when the card directly is coming up quite blurred, even though in the photograph initially it wasn't coming up that way. And it's about them directly following their good advice, trusting their intuition. The North Node moving in top Pisces there was always that potential that we would feel almost foggy, and we had this kind of great fog that was happening. So spiritually, this person with this card in reverse, it's almost like they're really not trusting their instincts. But if they can get into the emotional kind of frequency of it, it is going to guide them effectively. So it's not, oh my gosh, they're doomed to fail. It's more, these individuals experiencing this dynamic right now, although they may feel they're in the fog of a situation, it's actually going to take them to the light. So it's not a bad thing that this is playing out necessarily in their life, because it's about learning to go inside and learning to really trust. Is a trigger coming up because you're just not happy? I remember saying this to a fellow patron. We were having a bit of a DM with each other. And I said, oh, gosh, I'm a bit triggered and this and this and this. And I said, well, maybe I need therapy. And I went, well, no, not really, because I do know what the problem is and I'm choosing to do it, even though it is a problem. So I was having this, speech with myself, and it was like, well, wow, you really do know what the issue is. And it's temporary because, again, it is a choice, and we are doing something, but we're also doing it for a reason, temporarily, to reach a goal. So we come to this acceptance space, but I feel divine masculine here in the mix initially is coming into this week going, good grief, I'm feeling really foggy. Am I seeing things correctly? I'm dizzy with all the choices, the analysis paralysis. How do I get through this? Now, this is to do with the person that they feel is in their past. Now, this could be divine feminine. It could be a circumstance relating to love of the past. I wish things could come back again. They're quite blurred in the way they're seeing things. But they're sort of getting to this space where they're feeling the slack mentality. It's like, look, I wasn't able to do it back then. And it's funny. It's almost like that is pushing them further into I need to do things the correct way, which is the pressure point, the pressure point of going, well, you do actually have a solution here. You know what you do want. You know what you do miss. You know what you do like. You definitely know what you don't like. So it's not that they don't know. They're definitely thinking about divine feminine quite a bit here. They're also thinking, for those that are in a karmic relationship, be it as a romantic entanglement or something else that's really taking them away from their life path and making room for them to maybe have a love life or get life in order, so to speak. Whatever this is, they feel it's time to pay the ferryman. Now, February is still for some going to feel quite intense, especially because we'll have Mars in Cancer. And so emotions can be running high. And, in the heart space, we have the nonsense card in reverse, which means it's like, right, it's ready to deal. This could be protective energy of themselves and of other people. It also could be quite difficult inside a karmic relationship because those karmic relationships, if there's codependency, if both parties aren't on the same page, really between now and Venus retrograde, it's going to shake things up where it can become even more difficult to stay in something that isn't really resonating. You can look at 2025 as both an introduction to 2027, as well as a goodbye to 2020 and beyond, all the way back to 2008. So it's a goodbye to that, and it's a hello to the new. But we're in this, you could call it the in-between, the introduction and the in-between. So our lives collectively are going to look starkly different by mid-year. And as we have that introduction to the 2027 energy, which there's going to be more transitions then, we are then going to be integrating and having that bold courage to go where no man has gone before. So I see divine masculine here in the mix going, right, putting a lot of pressure on yourself. Oh my gosh, it's really time to do something. I've got to do it like right now. And this panicked frequency coming up for the divine masculine, where it relates to their marriages, contracts, partnerships, their love life, their career sector, their vitality, their energy, their protective zone inside their lives as well. It's like they're kind of saying to themselves, we have the I want to be queen and the cards in reverse. And this is where it was really coming to. It's the king and queen. It's like, am I with the ideal situation? Am I with the ideal partnership? Is somebody controlling me? How do I deal with that circumstance? It's a 33, how it directly impacts your health, dropping down to a 6. Stating your sovereignty, declaring freedom, and passing a test. So it can feel like a test. And I think until we get Mars direct, it is going to feel that way. It's still going to be sitting and we're really going to be developing those 2 areas of life. And I see masculine here, with their tribe and their family and their emotions and their connections and how they perceive divine feminines collectively as well as divine feminine. It's all going through this massive evolution of an upgrade. And they can be keeping this to themselves. Meanwhile, simultaneously, they're really going through the churn and getting quite peeved off at certain things. Just really irritated about, what used to really resonate for them is no longer resonating. Their whole world feels like, it's like a soul walk-in, and this is very common in the energy of Pisces. Those of you that have followed me for eons, I think it was December last year was our 8-year anniversary of being on YouTube, and I was like, good grief, 8. Now, we're in a number 9 year, and this is about endings and new beginnings. We're wrapping things up. We're sort of like, okay, what's working? What do we take with us? Getting ready to, do that simultaneous full card and tarot energy, where we're jumping in the deep end and we're gathering up our things. And, divine masculine here, where it does come to their physical worlds, it kind of feels upside down at the minute. They do know that a lot of these things that are really hindering them are simply not going with them. But at the moment, it's almost like they spiritually feel trapped in the dynamic of it, and it's causing the triggers to come up. Now, where it does come to the chemistry with divine feminine, I do feel they're reflecting back, okay? I do feel that they're looking to the chemistry, their power, their feelings within their emotions, wanting to express themselves, wanting to be closer to you. And regret about time, point blank zero. They are quite pressed for time. And I do feel collectively, this energy is really speeding up, even in the terms and the tones and the way I'm speaking at the moment. You directly can sense that it's almost like, oh my gosh, penny little, the sky's falling down. So I feel the vibration of 2025 is going to be extremely busy. And it's, we've got these solar flares coming in, and where our energy is upgrading, our light body is upgrading, and it's trying to keep up with that. So at times we are going to have to rest. February also could be one of those times that we really need to rest. We need to, keep hydrated. If we're feeling very depleted, it could be needing to eat the red food groups or the yellow food groups to really boost that confidence and to do that detox simultaneously. So, this clock energy is very much linked to Saturn and Aquarius. And like time's speeding up, but at the moment it feels like nothing's really coming full circle. Like, what is the right time? And I remember this point in my life where I had made 101 Dalmatian excuses for everything. And I was like, Yildiz, when is the right time? Is there ever a right time? It could be to be the bad guy. It could be to make a bold decision for yourself. There's never a perfect time, and there's so many variables, and we're learning to be intuitive enough to go, okay, what are these variables? If I was to do X, Y, and Z on this side of the fence, what would those outcomes be? If I was to do it this way, what would that be? And so, yes, the trouble, which is what we're trying to get away from, is the South Node in Virgo, analysis paralysis. We do that to the point where the brain feels mush and we no longer can do it. And there's no longer an excuse. So I don't think Mars is helping this situation. I think it's antagonizing. It's in its detriment in the House of Cancer. And, so we're having this, and I don't think it's not a mountain. I do. I think it's a mountain for all of us collectively. It's the old saying goes, making a molehill into a mountain. You may feel divine masculine that you're having no headway. And I'm actually here to tell you you are, whether you believe it or not. It's like a slingshot effect. Even if you feel you're spread so thin, you're having all these emotions, it's, you could journal. Although our minds are going way too fast, a lot of us are probably having issues sleeping. Pisces at the 12th house is that, so it could be that you need to, do some meditation. It could be putting something really mundane on and wearing some headphones and just listening to it to a point. You don't want something too upbeat. You want something quite monotonous. It could be a voice. It could be something that's not going up and down and in pitch, so that you can actually slow those radio frequencies of the mind down and calm down. A lot of times when we're going through the stage of an awakening, what we can tend to have is our mind on the level of sleep is actually problem solving for us. And so it's almost like we're dumping the trash, we're compartmentalizing, problem solving. And in our waking life, it can feel we're different. I sense that that's coming for you. And I do feel you're trying to tap into your instincts about when the right time is. You could be having this argument with yourself. What is the right time? How do I go about this? And you're sort of calling yourself chicken. I don't think it's chicken. I think you're tapping into your intuition. And again, they are saying something is going to happen in your sleeping hours. It could be a guide that's coming in. And I'm looking at this outcome card, and literally I didn't even see it till, after the fact of actually discussing the fact that I was seeing you problem solving in your sleep. And look at all the butterflies. It's like, wow, I'm having this rebirth. I'm having these light bulb moments. The world wants to be written, okay? And the word wants to be written. It could be that you need to communicate. It might be that you need to journal. But I just get this very strong feeling. It's like you're going to wake up and you're going, you know what? I need to do this now. But I feel initially this week, it could be a little bit difficult for you. Go easy on yourself. Know that this is a process. Know that what you're going through, I feel it's like you're going to go to sleep, you're going to wake up and you're just going to deal. And this is about writing your life down and starting to live the life you want to live. And I feel it's like you're pulling the pin, you're ready to make the queen. Whatever drama you have in front of you, it could even be that you have this very vivid dream of how you want your life to be with your significant other, and you're like, whoa, I've got to do this. I'm tired of dreaming this. I want to physically live this. We will check in with this energy next week. If you do like content like this, you can click the bell, and you can subscribe and like with the subscribe button and the like button, and we will see you next week.